Hey everybody, it's Sean Cummings. Now the goal on this short video is for people that don't have a lot of money and are going to run for office. First off, God bless you for running for office because it's a hard thing to do. I'm going to have a list coming up here next, and the list may look overwhelming, but once you just start chopping into the list, it's not. Like if you go to GoDaddy.com, buy your domain name, boom, knock it off the list. Go to the bank, get your bank account, boom, it's off the list. I think you'd be surprised how quick it goes off the list. Main contributors, start with your family. Those are the people that are going to believe in you more than likely, and they'll donate. More than likely, they'll donate. You want to get all of those things done really quick. I think you'll find out if you've got a list made, you get through it a lot quicker. So look at the list. Obviously, you can replay the video as many times as you want. It's on YouTube. You're just probably going to have to watch a commercial first. The goal here is to help you get through this as much as you can. I'm going to have other people to talk to, so it's not just going to be me at the kitchen table. I've worked on a ton of campaigns in my life, people that had money and people that didn't have money. So we're going to come up with every idea we can possibly do to help you get through this, okay? Most importantly, have fun. I've worked on fun campaigns and miserable campaigns, and let me tell you, fun campaigns were better, all right? Good luck to you.
Hi, my name is David Glover, and Sean just wanted to ask me to try to give some overview on some voting. So the first thing is you're running, and that's great. But you have to decide, what are the chances are that you're going to win in this race? And one of the things you have to figure out is how many Republicans or Democrats, whether or not you have a primary. And there's a number of different ways to find that information. There's a great website, the Oklahoma Voter Information Request website. That state election board, you call them up, they'll give you a login. You're able to actually look up your exact House district. It has every single piece of voting information for every single voter, except it doesn't have email addresses or phone numbers. That's where you want to maybe go to the State Democratic Party website as Vote Builder. If you're a Democratic candidate, you can get a login, and what that does, that allows you to look up voters and see how many Republicans or Democrats. Now, at the Democratic website, there's a charge involved for that. That helps it keep running. And so you're able to figure it out. If you have a primary, very important that you only focus on voters that actually really vote. And that's where you can actually look at their past voting record to determine it. You don't want to go door to door to door straight down the street. You'll be wasting a ton of time. You only want to talk to people that are very high likely primary voters in the primary. And basically, there's also websites like Nation Builder. Nation Builder is a website that also costs money, but it's a basically overall all-in-one website where you can take donations. They'll have some voting information. That can get very expensive if you turn that module on, but also helps you do your social media. Remember, signs don't vote. A lot of people get caught up in the activity of doing certain things in the campaigns like buttons or signs or slick websites. The number one thing you can do is actually knock doors of people that are likely to vote. Now, when you get to the general election, if you're in a campaign where the district is more likely to vote your party's way, it's going to be easier. If you're not, you're going to have to actually figure out the voters on the other side that might, be able to come your way. If you put out a ton of effort, you can win these elections, and that's the most important thing. But remember, you only want to door knock doors you actually are going to vote. Now, the most important thing with at the door is one thing. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. The best thing you can do at the door is to just listen and hear their concerns, not to get into the debates, but just to really understand what people are talking about, because you putting out effort is the number one thing you can do. So basically having good lists and putting out effort, you can win the election.
Now you see right here, you need a computer, you need an iPhone, bit of a selfie stick, and this is what a whole crew used to do on a campaign trail. Really and truly, I think you'd be shocked how much stuff you can do yourself. Making friends with the press and doing easy stuff this way. Fiverr is a fantastic website if you don't know anybody in the graphic arts and you want to have some stuff made. It does take a little time, and if you're not that creative, describing what you want is a little more difficult. If you're not used to dealing with foreigners, just there's Americans on there, just deal with Americans. Makes it nice and simple, and it's cheap. And if turnaround time, you pay an extra $5, you get good turnaround time. Okay, use Fiverr. That one's pretty simple. Now, I've shown you videos where it was too far up front, and this is a video shot with a selfie stick. Now, when you're out on the campaign trail, everybody likes to see that you're on the campaign trail, so you can do an update on the campaign trail with your selfie stick, and you can also use it if dogs are bothering you, so you can keep it in your back pocket or your purse. Remember, always have mints. I carried mints around the entire state for my wife. Nobody wants to talk to a politician with bad breath. Always carry mints, okay? And you do always want to remember, most people haven't run for office before. So if you have questions on your ethics report, while you're on the computer, call them on your phone. They'll walk you through it. They are so remarkably friendly. I'd be here while Kathy would call on the phone on the other computer, and they would walk her through everything. They were so used to people who didn't know how to do it. Really and truly, call yourself. It was pretty simple. Do not take any cash over $50. If you take anything under $50, make sure you get the name, address, occupation, all the same stuff you need to get on your envelope that you get from everybody else, okay? That's incredibly important. Don't do anything outside of that realm. Now, one thing my wife would tell you on doing reports, she did her own financial reports and she ran statewide. And the reason she did that, she had friends of hers who had money come up missing and everything else. And that's one thing, you're responsible for it. So remember that. Treasury is the one thing I would do myself.
But lastly, one of the things that you can do is you're on the campaign trail, and win or lose, one thing you can do is make people want to vote more often. I run a website called badvoter.org, and there's a number of things you can do there. One, you can look up how many days anyone has last voted. Two, you can sign up to vote by mail, which is the ultimate reminder that there's an election coming up. Try to get everybody to sign up for that, because 93% of the time, whoever wins the absentee ballot race wins the actual election because they're banking their votes ahead of time. You can check your registration or the registration of somebody else, and you can also register to vote. So, and the funniest thing you can do at badvoter.org is see how many days it's been since everyone has last voted. When you're at the door, obviously you want to be prepared ahead of time to know who's there. So you need to have good information, whether it be the vote builder with DNC, it's called Minivan, Voter Activation Network. There's a charge involved to be involved with that, or Nation Builder. They both have the ability to have data on your phone so you know whose door you're at, and also you're able to put some information down later. It's good to get knowledgeable about that ahead of time because you want to know who's at the door, who might be likely voters, other people there that might be voting. So have the information ahead of time so you're not fumbling when you're there. But the most important thing is to have a basic message. And one of the things you can say is who you are, what you're running for, but then also listen. Carrying around a real simple walk card it could be something that you get at Kinko's that's cut into 3 different ways. I mean, the candidate with the most money sadly usually wins, but you don't need money to actually win the race. But actually then putting down the information on the contact and then sending them a postcard or phone later will do more to ensure that they remember your name and likely to vote for you than anything else you could do. Yeah. There's some things on commitment strategies on likelihood of what you should leave the actual door with. You want to be sure you actually ask for the vote, because people usually will do what they say they will do and they'll commit to it. So either they'll say yes and you can mark them down, or if they say no or if they waffle, you can say, if somebody else doesn't come to your door and ask you for the vote, will you consider me? And almost everybody will say yes to that. Then you're able to do things before the actual election comes up, whether it be absentee balloting or early voting or getting out the vote on the day of the election, and things to increase the chances those people you talk to actually show up. So don't forget to ask for the vote.